Our next speaker will be Joe Snap from Alliance Bank. Joe is the Senior Vice President and operates the real estate division here in Tucson for Alliance Bank. He's been with that company for 6 years. He's been in the banking business banking and lending business for 20 plus years, and he's a graduate of Boston University and the University of Denver. Joe Snap.
So everybody else brings graphs and charts, and a banker brings a picture. I don't know what that says, but you know, the world of finance is pretty big. So in terms of what I could possibly talk about, it could be debt yields, cap rates, loan to value, underwriting criteria, interest rates, etc. In the past, I've tried predicting where rates would be. I failed at that miserably, so I'm not going to do that again. Although I would say that if I had to guess, I don't see them going anywhere this year. At least on a significant basis. I mean, rates are low, and I think they're going to stay there for a while. So what I decided to do instead was focus on, you know, lending, financing here in Tucson. And no, that's not a picture of Tucson, but if anybody was at the ULI event last week downtown, you might have walked away thinking that this could be Tucson someday. Besides the fact we'd have to dam the Santa Cruz, create a whole bunch of jobs, and try to figure out what to do with people parking on the light rail. I heard this morning driving in that yet more people were fined and ticketed and their cars towed away because they can't figure out how to park or where to park, and they're parking on the streetcar line. So we need to get that fixed. But I bring up downtown because it really is indicative of not only what's going on here in Tucson and Arizona, but kind of nationwide. You're seeing urban areas grow, and that's a reflection of kind of a convergence of a number of large demographic groups. It's not just like the Gen Y, the millennials, it's also baby boomers. The younger generation is trying to move downtown because they're looking for proximity to work. They don't want to drive very far. They want to be able to walk and bike. They want to be close to entertainment, restaurants, etc. They're all about this new thing that I don't quite understand, which is collaborative office space, being that you literally rent a desk as opposed to an office, and you've got a number of different people in there, hopefully kind of all working on the same thing, and you talk to each other, and you come up with a new idea and eventually create a business. We actually have that going on downtown in Tucson. The difference between what the baby boomers are looking for, they're looking for all those same things, but they're also wanting to have, you know, they want to be close to healthcare, so hospitals. You know, looking forward as to whether or not one of those groups will stay downtown long term, I'd probably put my money on the baby boomers, on the older generation, because what do you do eventually when you have a family? Where's your schools? What are you doing? You know, you want to kind of spread out. And with that said too, I'm not saying that I'm a huge proponent for, you know, big infill development, office. I mean, that's not who we are. We're not Phoenix. I don't think that's Arizona in general. I think people come here because they want space. I mean, that's why they come out west. That's why you live out west. But also why I wanted to bring up downtown is because it's a success story from the standpoint of having the government help private developers. I mean, the amount of both debt, equity, and incentives downtown has been very, very helpful. I mean, you've got new market tax credits, you have Section 108 funding, you've got you know, your traditional banks, both from a standpoint of local banks, then national banks and perm lenders. All of that has helped to create what's going on downtown. We just need to take all of that that's worked and transfer that out to the rest of Pima County. And I'm not too bashful to say that if you were at that ULI event and you saw the number of projects that they referred to, our bank at one point in time, whether it was then or now, had a hand in developing each and every one of those properties. So we do get what's going on downtown, we do get what's going on locally, and again, I think that's, you know, time and place for each lender. you need a local lender to promote it, and then eventually the national banks and the perm lenders see what's going on, and they enter into the marketplace. Maybe because of what's going on downtown and in general what might be happening in Arizona, I actually found something that I was excited to see. It was positive news on Tucson. It wasn't bad PR that we typically see. And when I look at this now, it kind of looks a lot like what Paul was showing before. But really what this was a ULI survey and a study as to the overall commercial real estate prospects in the United States. And ironically, the map that Paul showed before, Wells Fargo has presence in all of these cities that are shown on the map. I point this out for a number of reasons. One is that we're actually on the map. I mean, if you look, there's a number of states that they don't have a presence at all. And with that said, there are a couple of cities that are shown on here that it's not a good thing because they're shown in red. That means it's bad. It's a very poor environment for real estate. You'll notice that Detroit is one that's on there. Tucson, as shown, is fair. Phoenix is shown, I think, as good. And what they pointed out in this report is for Phoenix, they stated that it moved up 8 spots from 2013. So this is a projection, a forecast for 2014. And it says, while survey respondents feel that the investment outlook will be better in 2014, it is the outlook for development and home building that really boosted Phoenix overall rank. The development outlook moved from modestly poor to fair, while the outlook for home building moved from modestly poor to modestly good. Our bank in particular has taken note of this because probably over the last 12 to 18 months up in Phoenix, we've become much more aggressive in rolling options, land banking, A&D for the single-family residential market. For Tucson, it says unchanged from 2013. The 2014 outlook for investment in home building remains fair, while the outlook for development improved. It remains modestly poor. So that shouldn't really be a surprise. I mean, the one difference downtown is that in addition to rehabbing, repositioning assets, in terms of new development, you're not seeing that so much outside of downtown, and that just goes to feasibility. I mean, why would you build something if the replacement cost is less? And I guess in closing, I just say that banks, lenders, we have capacity, we have the willingness, we want to lend, we're just looking for opportunities. Thank you.